So before creating a customer, I would like to search whether the customer is existed or not. So if the customer is not existed, then only I would like to create the customer record. So we are going to search the customer not in the client organization. We are going to search the customer in the service organization where the service return the list of data. So how can you find this? So you can search based on any parameter. I mean, you search based on the city or based on the name and based on the phone number. So for each customer there is a unique ID. So you can use the unique ID to find out the customer. Let's say in my case, I would like to search the customer based on the city. So I will pass the city from here and where the service receives the city parameter and return back the list of records. That is my requirement. Again using the SOAP integration. So we have two Salesforce organizations. So these are the two Salesforce organizations. My requirement is, let's say one is a service org, and another one is a client org. So client is where we consume the service. Service org is where we have the Apex web services. So again the steps. So we need to generate the partner WSDL and we need user credentials. Addition to that, I have to write an Apex web service. So what it does actually, it should receive a parameter. So it should receive the city from the client, and based on the city, return list of customers. So we pass the city parameter from here from the client by consuming this service, and we pass the list of values back to the client. So where I can handle my situation, I mean where I can handle my rest of the business logic. If I find at least one record, or if I find the record that I'm expecting, I won't create a customer again because it becomes the duplicate. If I don't find it, I will create a new customer record. That's how can you communicate these two. How can you pass list of data? Maybe you find the list of data on a single city. So how can you handle this situation? So first thing is we need to write a service where it receives one city parameter and return the list of records back to the client. So go to the service arc. So first thing is the service. Just concentrate on service always. Go to service now. So define a new class. New
Nara, in this, do we need to create a wrapper list?
Yes, we need to create a wrapper. So because we are going to return more records.
List of,
Yeah,
okay.
list of records. Global class. Class name is customers data service. So define the wrapper public class, any class name, wrapper inner, and I am going to declare. I'm going to return only the name and phone number. I don't need other parameters. See, so when here is the property, so I'm going to declare a property because I would like to display the return data in my Visual Force. So they must be the properties. So if you don't display the data in a Visual Force space that you are returning, so use the normal variables. So in this particular case, I'm going to use the data in my Visual Force. So make sure the properties. So when you use the properties, even in the even in the generated classes, the scope is still alive in the Visual Force. So you can display them. So one property name, and I would like to return only name and phone number back to the client. So just to declare these two parameters. The wrapper declaration, and declare one instance for it. So to prepare a single record, wrap inner widget wi getter and setter, global static, at the same time list of data lstwi getter and setter. So these are the declarations. See, this is the main part. Declared one wrapper with the two values, name and phone number. So you have the single instance and you have the list of data. So then you define your own method to return the data. So it must be at least one web service method, otherwise it won't, you cannot generate the WSDL. It is always with a single web service method. So you can define the multiple web services if you want, but it has at least one static method and list of the return type. So what is the return type that you are returning? So I am going to return the wrapper list. So because you need to return the data so that only the client can receive. So return customers. So what you can do is, so here is lstwi, just return lstwi. So before return, make sure the initialization part, and this must, so we call the return customer with a city, so string city, or else you can have another user defined data type. You can create one more wrapper, or for a single parameter it is not required. If you have a group of parameters, we generally use the wrapper. Here is a single parameter, it is not needed. So write a local query on account object. So I would like to return city also, where city equal to the value that you are passing. So this is a city. I would like to find how many customers we have, and then you need to pass through the wrapper obj wi dot. So what is the first value? Name equal to obj a dot name, obj wi dot phone equal to obj a dot phone, obj wi dot city equal to obj a dot building city. Then you have the wrapper list lstwi dot add of obj wi, then return the lstwi. So how similar the logic is. So we are going to receive the parameter, the city parameter in the service class, and based on the city I am going to write the SOQL query on an account object and return the list of data. Save it. So the classes which has a web service, so you can generate the WSDLs. If you don't have the web service, what happens? Let's say if you don't have the web service here, it becomes a normal class. It is not the web service. So even at least, so here is a web service. So you can also generate the WSDL. Even if you remove the web service here, so you don't see the button. So it identifies based on the key used in the classes. So make sure the web service always. here also, then save it. So I just declared a class, and this class returns the list of customers based on the city. So this is a service arc I wrote. So you can handle some exceptions in case if you find something. So here generally we don't get any exception. There is no DML statements or any other the business logic we wrote. So again you can make the null checks here. So for example, always better to introduce the null checks. If the value is not equal to null, then assign. So if it is null, then no need to assign the value. Null, then only assign. Yeah, I'm ready with the source class. I mean service class. So we return the list of data. Now back to the client. So we in the client organization. So the first one is SFDC connection. So I already wrote a method for it, and then calling the service with the session ID. Service method by passing the city. So it uses the session header element too. So generate the service name is customer data service. Generate a WSDL first because WSDL is the mediator. So always we go for the WSDL to communicate the systems in the SOAP integration. So if you observe, so we have the wrapper instance and we are passing the three parameters. I mean we are back to the three values. Save with dot WSDL. So make sure the dot WSDL always customer data service dot WSDL. So my service